I understand.
Really?
I was just going to get to Ekiti today, then tomorrow morning I'll leave. So I got to Ekiti, I was wearing all black, which is my usual kind of, yes, all black, and I was wearing a jacket. But everybody there was wearing the typical native, and so they are suitable for the occasion. And me, I feel I was not suitable because of there were ashwebis and everything. So what I did, I kept trying to stay on my own, but my friend was trying to carry me along. But for every time we're walking, because he kept greeting people, he's a very big boy.
You have to keep up with
yes, so I'm keeping, no, he's dragging me like, Mike, come, I want you to meet this person. So for every time we go to meet people, we are walking like entourage. So for every time we greet person, and they say, who is this man? Is he a retard? Did he just come for abroad? So he said I should sit next to I should sit next to him. Then after the burial, where there was an after party that evening, what half of the guys did, they quickly rushed to the hotel, changed to casuals, and quickly came back. Yes.
The maiden Ajegunle Legacy Award has reached its crescendo with the exclusive interview with one of Ajegunle's foremost business mogul and philanthropist, Ambassador Michael Omijeh, the Chief Executive Officer of Staunchman Clothing and Accessories. Speaking with Fakunle Sheriff Ekundayo, the convener of Ajegunle Legacy Awards, Ambassador Michael Omijeh shares his experience on what it feels like growing up in Ajegunle.
My names are Omijeh Michael Osegale. I hail from Edo State. I'm a product of Ajegunle. You understand? I did all my schooling in Ajegunle. I was brought up in Ajegunle. I went to primary school in Ajegunle. Secondary school, I went to Kajola Primary School. And I went to Sinclair, which is now Ajegunle Felodu High School. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm majorly into fashion business and hospitality, restaurants, and that's what I do, man. Yeah. The Ajegunle experience. I don't think I'm in my 4th floor right now. I'm over 40. I don't think I've been out of Ajegunle for close to 15 years plus now. But I don't think the Ajegunle experience can ever leave me. You know what they say now, you can take the person out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the person. My experience in Ajegunle, it's a beautiful one. It has everything to do with life. Ajegunle, it's an eye-opener. Ajegunle is a teacher of its own. Ajegunle, if it's safe to say, it's a place that is like a case of hunger begot talent. It brings out the best in you. You know, one of the things I love most in Ajegunle is the childhood experience. Ajegunle is a place where everybody can come together and feel as one. There's something that is worth emulating in Ajegunle then, and I think it's something we have to hold on to. So it has this idea of if one person succeeds, it looks like, or it feels like you're succeeding for the community. So everybody looks up to you to bring back those things that you've got, that you're giving to the world. Ajegunle gives this idea of, I can come from nothing to something. I was talking to my kids the other day, and I was trying to make them understand. So some of these classes we pay for just to practice some certain kinds of games. In Ajegunle, it was just out in the street. We go out there, we play football. The experience is a beautiful one. There's nothing that can rule out that experience, because almost every good thing in life comes from struggle. You get what I'm saying? So Ajegunle, it is for me, and I will always uphold Ajegunle.
While discarding the notion of negative narrative associated with Ajegunle, Ambassador Michael Omijeh posited that over the last decade, Ajegunle has been producing personalities with global relevance.
Thank you for that question. I think identity is everything. You understand, no matter how much you try, everybody must be identified to a thing. You understand, and it's only original, authentic if you identify with where you're coming from. I quite understand where you're coming from. Plenty years before now, Ajegunle has portrayed some certain type of attributes which might not be good for its community, but I tell you, for the last 10 years plus, Ajegunle has breeded a lot of outstanding people. You get what I'm saying? Outstanding people, from football to music to actors to entrepreneurs and all that. But because of the stigma way back of what the some, let me say, perhaps maybe false narrative or not too genuine information has created for the community, it makes a lot of people want to pull back. But for me, I think originality is key. One way I would advise to encourage people that are doing fantastically well in their fields to come back and identify with their community, I think Ajegunle needs a lot of sensitization. You understand? I like the fact that people want to fight hunger, but again, I think we need to teach these young people how to be upright, how to reason, how to do things, to see life from a different perspective and not just from the hunger point of view. For every time you tune into Ajegunle, somebody is coming to give them meals, coming to give them food, which is a good idea. I agree with that. But we need to do more. You understand, by teaching this, if I may use the word Gen Z, of how things work, because even the Gen Z, they have these qualities. One of the qualities I love about Gen Z is the audacity to question things, and I think we should work on that. We should work on that. If you go back in time in Ajegunle, nearly over 50% of all the people that came from Ajegunle fell under the umbrella of talent, workmanship, artisanship. I think we should focus on that while backing it up with education. So if you feel the need to identify with Ajegunle or give back to Ajegunle, if you're a footballer, you come and create like a football academy. It makes a whole lot of sense. If you're a musician, you set up a studio, make them understand the business part of the whole music thing. Is not just for you to set up cameras and drink alcohol and bring women with that is half dressed or smoke a lot of things. You make them see the benefit of using your music talents to pass a message and all of that. Same for we that is into fashion. We create like a workshop, that can teach people how to go about this whole fashion idea things, on how to combine things, monetize the whole thing. I think it's a great thing. It's only good for us to identify with where we come from. Yeah.
Speaking on the topic, which borders on teenager engagement on various social media platforms, Ambassador Omijeh says it was important teenagers control what they feed their minds on the social media space.
Okay, that's a good question. Thank you for that question. I think we cannot overemphasize education. Education is key to anything you need to do. And I think we should do more with education, more fundings, more interaction. That will go a long way. Then from that step, we can take it to the next step. The numbers of, I don't think there's any local government that has the numbers of youths that Ajegunle has, and that's the power of Ajegunle. In these numbers, you can get diverse talents. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said earlier, these youths need direction. All they need is direction, and education is what is going to breed direction. Now, speaking about the social media, I'll give an instance. If you've taught a kid about dignity and integrity in school, if you pick up your phone to go on Facebook, on Instagram, just the way I do sometimes, I feed my focus. You understand? So you're seeing things that does not align with your value. You're seeing things that is not aligned with what you've been taught. You understand? It is left for you as a teenager to say, no, I'm going to push this aside. You understand? You see people online doing things that you cannot channel maybe their source of income or their lifestyle with. Things like that needs to be questioned. You know, we need mentors in which we can look up to, and we have like a track records, you know, where they are coming from, what they've done, not like waking up in the morning and see an overnight success. I don't think there's any story in that, you know, on any sort of abuse, child molestation, drug abuse, substance abuse, the internet fraud, whole lot of things. There are things we need to cut down and channel the minds of the youth to a better path.
Like the philosophy behind the Ajegunle Legacy Awards, we asked Ambassador Omijeh on what his legacy is, and he has this to say.
I feel, thank you for that question. I feel everyone should, as you grow in life, you know, there's a point you get to in life, you should be thinking of what your legacy should be, because after you're gone, your legacy is what the world will see and say, okay, this is, you know, what you've put down and all that. Like the popular actor said in the recent interview, he said, first you learn, second you earn, and third you return. You understand? I feel you should go big on learning, because if you go big on learning, you're going to go big on earning. Then when you go big on earning, it gives the opportunity for you to return. That means giving back to the society. So for me, my legacy would be the ability to channel a very huge number of youth in Ajegunle, for them to be able to chase their dream and become what they want to be, not just in fashion but in every field of life, making them understand that the process or the step to success is not just a day thing. It comes in stages, and for every time they fail, they shouldn't see it as like a setback not to continue to push into their goals, because that's what champions are made of. I'm a change agent. I've contributed to the human development of our society and community at large. What's your legacy?
Ambassador Michael Omijeh is a recipient of Ajegunle Legacy Award because he has decided to contribute to the growth of human development, especially from grassroots communities across Lagos, Nigeria. This is your legacy, and we are proud to celebrate with you.